What have you got sharpening wise at the moment?
I'm using Japanese water stones, dead messy. Give a nice edge, but
Yeah.
dead messy. But I'm sick of the whetstone at the moment that I'm using, which is all hollowed out and it gets that way really quickly.
These have been around for a few years, you've probably seen these about, but the trouble is that so many of them you can't get in. All people wanted was a coarse side good enough to reshape and back off, a fine side good enough to leave a razor edge. These are all double-sided. They're the only range of double-sided continual stones you can buy. The last thing they wanted improving was the flatness. That is finished off to a flatness of plus or minus half a thou, which is quite a precision instrument for a diamond stone. That will replace all three of your stones. That's set into a basin of nickel with the diamond in it. It's electroplated onto the surface, so the diamond goes onto there, the nickel grows all around it, so just the top third of the diamond is exposed. It's important to use that, which is designed for diamonds. Can't use WD-40 because it's too thick, you just skate straight across it. So use the right fluid to keep on there. Just put a couple of squirts of that on. To give you an idea of the power of cut, that's a piece of carbide. So with no pressure, that's how quickly it cuts carbide. Surprising, when by touch it's very, very difficult to know what it's going to do. So I've got a bit of fluid on there, let's put a bit more on. Just give that a little wipe over there and just get a feel of the way that bites. Very little pressure. Softer and slower, that's better. Much softer, just let the diamond do the work. Feel that biting? Now, so remembering it cuts forward and back, if we're coming in from here, it's not too difficult to keep that at a constant angle, just doing that within an inch. And remembering we're doing the bit, you see how much pressure I'm putting on that? You can see what we've taken from there, you've already edged it. Use the length of travel that way around. Now it's just a useful method to try, because let's face it, using a honing guide is a little bit laborious, setting it all up and getting there, and to be able to just quickly do that by hand, I've got a lot of people who now actually use that method quite successfully, and hopefully we might have a bit of an edge on there. But if you want to go on then to something like a 12,000 grit Japanese stone, do. What I say to people from the coarse and the fine cut here is that you can do 98% of the work on sharpening something in seconds. Then if you want to go on to leather strops, blah, 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 you can do, fine. If you ever got into sort of doing any spindle jobs or anything like, to me, to sharpen those, you've got to have precision flatness. That's why those just lends itself to that. Superb for that. It's a nice smooth feel, isn't it? And you can see how quickly you're removing. I would suggest that is probably the equivalent to round about, it's always difficult trying to convert diamond grit size into traditional, but I'd put it round about 7,000. But a lot of people I've got will go from there, if need be, on to at least 10 to 12. Very little pressure.
Yeah, you can feel it right the way through.
I know old habits die hard. If you want to just go forward and back, you can do. And reduce your length of travel to about that much. You know, you feel a bit more in control there, wouldn't you?
And this is the fine.
You see how quick you're working here?
It's the fine side.
Yeah. Look what you've taken. So, we're in here. Good little trick is just to wait until you can see when the fluid just bubbles out and you know you're on the edge. Yeah. And I'm just going to take that for an inch forward and back. It cuts forward and back. Do you notice how much pressure I'm putting on that? I'm just gliding that across. That's what I've already taken from the tool. Use the 7 inches there to back that off in the ordinary way. This is fine and coarse. Carbide high-speed steel. Secondly, I'm a great believer in get the one which is the easiest to use and will do the job the most efficiently. And I find that when I'm working with sharpening a router, I just rest it on a work surface like so and work it this way around. So this is actually designed for diamond abrasives. Just one squirt on there is plenty. So we're coming in from here, and as I say, just count up to about 4 strokes. So you do it on one side, turn it over and do it on the other side. That's carbide. I would sharpen a cutter from new and give it 2 or 3 rubs to get it very sharp, and then keep it like that. Don't wait until it's got blunt, because that's when you're going to get the problems. So routers are fairly straightforward. Similarly, you can use this sort of thing for circular saw blades. We just nice and easily, one side and the other side. And if we do this nice and slowly, on a fairly shallow angle, you're totally in control of what you're doing. So there's no need to whip it through or be fast. And just let the diamond do the work. And even on one stroke either side, we really want to be going for an edge which is that keen. Now that is not just cutting the paper, that is just literally gliding through it. We have a bevel edge and a flat edge. What you want to do with your garden shears is put that on a work surface, level off that bevel edge so you're looking down flat on it, a couple of squirts, come down flat on that bevel edge, and in a circular motion you simply just take this down the length of the blade. You don't need to apply a lot of pressure. So the trick to these is that you just, and it's only slightly, you slightly open these up and do that. So that's how they are normally. It's just slightly over and do that. And then all you do is close them. Because then we've revealed the bevel edge and the flat edge. It's just so much easier to do it. So they're virtually exactly the same as what we just did. We're working down that bevel edge, just nice and lightly. And with the dagging shears, I'll probably be working on the fine side. You will have a very, very keen edge on these, and again, just wipe off the burr. And you can tell by the way that comes up in the air that is a very, very clean cut. The good thing about the diamond steels is that they actually remove material from the knife, only a little bit, but maintain it sharp. So we're working on a blunt knife, right? It won't do anything. So what I would suggest that people do from the start is re-shoulder all your knives first. Probably the best way is to plonk it down like this, and you're coming in from here on a fairly shallow, I'm going to swing around in a minute, on a fairly shallow angle. So we're coming in on that sort of angle. We don't want to be out here because that's putting on a boning edge. You want it as fine as possible. So in a circular motion, we would just take this blade down the length of the steel. And I'm going to do the same on the other side. You would only do this method to your knives once, because you're only going to have to re-shoulder them once. So that's what I've just taken from the blade. It's quite surprising how quickly these cut. And if you just feel that, again, you wouldn't think that that would do anything. So it's no pressure, none of this battering about. Then when you want to put the edge on, the most important thing is that we're going to do alternate strokes. So that is obviously not working on a bench that's up around your neck. That's not a bad way to learn how to do it, because the blade is always well away from you. Okay? And after a short period of time, you'll just literally be able to edge it up this way around. If you want to do it that way around, you can do. You could possibly do it that way around, but watch your fingers. And I'm out of tomatoes, but going from a blunt knife, we've achieved that. Now, once you've got it like that, to maintain it, all you're doing is... That's enough. If after a while that begins to look mucky, and you attract swarf around the top of that diamond, you're going to take away a little bit of the abrasion. That's why it comes with the cleaning block. It's like a drawing office rubber. And the good thing about Continua is it cleans down really easily. It cleans it out that easily. So maintenance-wise, it's superb.